Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship review and reaction round 29. It feels like it's been a really long day. It has. I'm still tired from that Derby versus Birmingham game that we did earlier on, but we are here to recap round 29 in the Championship. Every goal, every team, every game. And we want your views on each and every one of those goals, games and teams in the chat. Let me know if you can see me, hear me loudly, clearly. Do hit that like button for me, hit the thumbs up, and we'll hopefully get the stream moving and draw some people to it as we go. Let's say a few hellos. HM, you and John, Dave, Ollie, David, HS, Noah, Matt, Stephen, and Solid Pope down there. If you'd all do me a solid and hit the thumbs up button, that would be tremendous. And we have a lot of action to get into full round. We're back into 12 games every round now after the Omicron surge, which is hopefully back in the past. Fingers crossed. All of the games we're going to be doing are ticking along the bottom, and that is the running order as ever. We'll go from highest ranked game in the table to lowest, but after we've said a big thank you to Russ, who was in my neck of the woods earlier. Russ is our fan sponsor for the Championship Review Show. Was a foe, now a friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year. Thank you, Russ. He got involved over at patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Go and get involved there. This will always be free on YouTube, but you can go and help out over there. Let's say hello to a few more people. Jay, M97, Stuart, Stevie, Noah, Wayne, Simon. I think, have we covered everybody? Let's get into this then. And there are your scores from round 29. And we've had 2 watch-alongs and a Saturday super stream and a preview and a review. So hopefully we know what we're talking about in terms of this round. Me and you lot as well. So on Friday night, it was Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. No early kickoff on Saturday. That went late because the Premier League wasn't on, the TV slot was open. So in the 3 p.m.s, it was Barnsley 0, Bournemouth 1, Fulham 1, Blackpool 1, Hull 2, Swansea 0, Luton 0, Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 1, Coventry 0, Millwall 2, West Brom 0, Preston 2, Bristol City 2, QPR 4, Reading 0, and in the 5:30 game, which was on TV, Peterborough 0, Blades 2. Today, 2 TV games, Derby 2, Birmingham 2, which we did on the watch along. And the recently finished, because it was a 4 o'clock kickoff, Cardiff 2, Nottingham Forest 1. And we should be about ready to go through all of those games. As ever, we were going to start at the top. So get your comments in on Fulham 1, Blackpool 1. And of course, the first thing we should say is our condolences and our sadness to Fulham fan, I believe, Paul Parrish, who I think was known to the Cottage Talk guys as well. Terribly sad, died at the game. So we had a big, long stoppage. So, of course, if you want to just stick and whatever you feel comfortable with, stick it in the chat as your tribute to Paul, who, just the same as all of us, just a football fan, and very, very sad news at Fulham yesterday. So there are the teams, and it was Fulham 1, Blackpool 1, a rare non-2-goal game for Fulham, and a rare non-win for Fulham at the moment. So well played, Blackpool. Obviously, big stoppage in this game. You never know how it quite affects the flow, but things like that obviously seem very unimportant in comparison to why that stoppage occurred. Of course, I do understand that. So Fulham, Rodak in goal, Odoi, Adrabio, Ream, Bryan, Harrison Reed, Kenny, Cabano, Carvalho, and they're both back. Look, Wilson and Mitrovic. Mitro is getting on the score sheet for the 28th time this season. He's 2 away from the golden 30, and he's still got 18 games to go. Good old Mitro. For Blackpool, Grimshaw in goal, Ekpiteta, Keogh, Thornley at the back, Sterling and Gabriel, sort of wing-backs, full-backs, Bowler and Hamilton wide, Dougal and Connolly central with Lavery up top. And after 6 minutes, one of the most common sights in Championship football this season is that Mitrovic sticking the ball in the net. Excellent goal, worked in from the left-hand side via Cabano, and Carvalho does well, sticks it across the box, and Mitrovic sticks it over the line. 6 minutes in, goal number 28. By the way, goal number 74 of the season for Fulham. Let's give you a quick update. 74 divided by 28 equals 2.64 per game. They are still projecting 120 goals. So still up at that 2 goals per game mark. However, they are not going to win today. So well done, Blackpool, second half. And we mentioned Carvalho. His agent may or may not have a busy day tomorrow. I think Josh Bowler's agent might have a busy day tomorrow because he seems to be in this link with, there's a load of wingers, aren't there? And if one goes, maybe they'll all go. Brennan Johnson, Jed Wallace, Josh Bowler. If the money comes into one club, Keane Lewis Potter as well now, especially with that Brentford league. Hamilton knocks it back. It's a good finish. He sweeps it home there, Bowler, under a bit of duress from Joe Bryan to make it 1-1. Get your comments in on that one. And, of course, your tributes to our friend and fellow football fan, Paul, who sadly... went to the game and didn't come back. And I know that's awful to say, but that sadly is what happened. There are the numbers, 75-25 in possession, 19 shots to 10, only 6 to 4 on target, 9 corners to 3, 5 big chances to 0. So Fulham will feel they should have won this game based on those numbers in isolation, but game state and all, and perhaps circumstance and situation there. But well done, Blackpool, for going in there and getting the point. Fulham remain 5 points clear at the top, and of course Blackburn drew as well, so could have been a lot worse for Fulham in terms of the top of the table there. They're over 2 points per game. The goal ratio is fantastic, and they still look sort of odds-on favourites for the title, don't they? Fulham, Blackpool have been much better of late, haven't they? And 7 points in 3 games, and if you're going to go away to the league leaders and get a draw, you're going to be happy at this juncture, aren't you? Let's get some comments in. Yeah, lots of tributes to Paul. Obviously, we'll click that all up there. What else have we got here? There we go. Ollie, horrible situation at Fulham. Game irrelevant. Yeah, I know how you feel. It feels very close to home, doesn't it? If Fulham want to stay up, well, I mean, I think they've got good defenders. I just think they play very, very attacking, don't they? But look, Fulham are damned if they do and damned if they don't. If they replace their players, they'll get accused of not trusting the ones that got them up. And, you know, if they don't, they'll say they should have. So it is what it is, isn't it? Right, there we go. Fulham need to put some points in the bag. Their away schedule finish. Middlesbrough, QPR, Derby, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Ouch. Yeah, maybe a lead would be good. There we go. And thank you for all your tributes to Paul. And dare I say, check in with Russ and Yanis and the boys from Cottage Talk as well. Tell him you're from here, and I'm sure they will appreciate it. Okay, next up, and it's a 0-0 for us to talk about. It was Luton 0, Blackburn 0. Not the worst result in the world. Blackburn hold second place. Luton have been decent at home. It's a clean sheet for Blackburn. And quite telling in this game that with no Adebayo for Luton and no Ben Brereton Diaz for Blackburn, that the 2-star strikers are there and nobody scores. Go figure. I think it shows really with both of these two teams now that they're no pushovers, aren't they? And Luton have pushed into the top 10, still game in hand on a couple of teams, and they're on a good run, especially at the Kenny. And Blackburn have just been excellent, and Blackburn are in the process now of showing us whether they're a team that's gone on a really good run and found themselves in second, or whether they're a team that's going to stay for the season in the automatic promotion race. Let's have a look at the teams and get your comments in on this one. Shea in goal for Luton, Lockyer, Osho, Naismith, Bell, Bree, and Panzu, Lansbury, Campbell, Onyedinma and Jerome up top. For Rovers, Kaminski in goal, Lenihan, Van Heck, Wharton, Aidan Nyambe, Travis Johnson, Buckley, Zafuik, and Gallagher up top. Not a lot in terms of, I normally try and do a chance for each team, but really not much tangible in the way for Blackburn. So I'll stick this one up here from Cameron Jerome, who thought he'd stuck this one in the corner. Trickles along to the keeper's right, hits the post. A bit of fun and games at the end with Lansbury and Kaminski, but yeah, that's all she wrote, really. 0-0 in this one. A little look at the numbers. 51-49, 2 shots each on target, no big chances. It just feels like a very tight game that maybe one or other of these sides could have won with their key striker. But look, get out with a point. You don't lose. Clean sheet. There are worse things that can happen, aren't there? Get your comments in on this one. Please hit that like button as well while you're watching. Try and swell the numbers for us. So Blackburn hold on in second. Bournemouth do have a game in hand, as do QPR, who, as it stands, would go above Blackburn in terms of if they won that game in hand. Luton stay in 10th. They've used their games in hand well, Luton, haven't they? Let's have a little looky here. Any comments on this one? Stephen, no, Bradley, Burke, Clark, and Adebayo. Both teams went for it at the end. 0-0 was fair. Rothwell to Bournemouth. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow, isn't it, Chris? By the end of the season, the BBD pause is going to be half of the stream. I was trying to do the people's elbow, where the rock kind of pauses in the middle of the move, but maybe that got lost in translation. But thank you. I'm sticking with the joke till the end of the season, so enjoy it, Ollie. Both teams hit by injuries, transfer window shenanigans. I think it was a fair result. Yeah, I agree, Jay. Would have been a different narrative around this game once that window's closed, isn't it? Especially from Blackburn's point of view. Anyone with a pulse signing for Bournemouth, you love to see it if you're a Bournemouth fan, don't you? Simon, hard place to go, Luton, isn't it? Just at the moment, we were lucky to come away with a point too. Awesome stuff. Let's move on. Well, and we're going to talk about Bournemouth because Bournemouth got back to winning ways. It was Barnsley 0, Bournemouth 1. Sorry, Bournemouth fans, I have to give the obvious caveat. It was Barnsley. And sorry, Barnsley fans, I have to give the obvious caveat. It was Barnsley. And Barnsley really are tracking for a terrible, terrible points total, aren't they? We're looking at, what was it, 23.8? Someone worked it out yesterday. So the record low in the Championship and going back to the start of the Premier League era, in fact, is 23. So Barnsley potentially record-breakingly bad this season. They need a win, but played 27-1-2. And when check out the video, by the way, 10 worst teams in Championship history. It's normally 4, 5 or 6 victories in the whole season over the 46 games. But much better news for Bournemouth. And I dare say the Bournemouth fans might be a happy bunch tomorrow because, like you guys are saying in the chat there, I think some players might be heading into Bournemouth between now and 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Here are your teams in this one up at Oakwell. Get your comments in via the chat, please. Collins in goal for the Tykes. Moon, Hellick, Anderson, Vita, Williams, Styles, Wolf, Palmer, Cole, and Iseka. For Bournemouth, Travers, Stacey, Cahill, Kelly, Zamira. I'll give someone some homework if they can be bothered. Work out Bournemouth's points per game with Zimmer and then work it out without. I think we did it earlier in the season. And yeah, I think you know where I'm going with that sort of narrative. Billing, Pearson, Lerma, Christie, Solanke, and Anthony. And the goal comes in only 12 minutes. And I watched this a couple of times. The first time I watched it, I thought it was a complete mess. That is Phil Billing heading in from pretty much on the goal line. I watched it again, and it's actually quite good from Solanke. Look, it's bad from Brad Collins in the goal, who's actually a very good sweeper keeper and was last season under Big Val, wasn't he? He comes out, he gets caught, and then Solanke does well to sort of control it. And the best he can do is sort of loop it up in the air. And from then, Billing is the only one who really watches that ball down, gets a good jump. No one's touch tight, no one challenges him. So any contact that close to the goal, and he just, you can see how close in, he just heads it over the line, doesn't he? Maybe some sweat at the end of the game for Bournemouth, and someone who doesn't usually sweat at championship level is Gary Cahill, but that is his second yellow. Don't take, I always say in terms of fouls, don't judge them on a still. That looks really incriminating. It's not as bad as it looks, but it is a yellow card there for Cahill, a second yellow. Red card for him, so he will miss, obviously, the next Bournemouth game. Let's have a look at the numbers. Nearly 70% possession for Bournemouth is fairly standard. Then look at the actual output towards goal. 15 shots to 14. 7 shots to 3 on target in Barnsley's favour. 9 corners to 2, says Territory. Bournemouth's way. 3 big chances to 2. But, yeah, football is so much played in the head. And even with those numbers, you do fear that Barnsley will lose games that they're otherwise in, don't you, just with the way it's going. So Bournemouth are they back? We'll find out, won't we? Barnsley at the moment is not the opponent to judge an automatic team on. However, they're 1 point behind Blackburn with a game in hand, of course. And Barnsley, look, we want to see records be broken. And Barnsley had an 8-win streak, and we were talking about that at the end of last season. Might have been 9, mightn't it? I don't recall. Was it 9 wins in 10? I think 8 in a row, something like that. We'd rather be talking about that. But yeah, unless Barnsley's points per game moves above, I mean, what is it? It's nearly 0.5, isn't it? If it was 28 and 14, it would be 0.5. So yeah, it's just really bad time, isn't it? For Barnsley, what have we got here? Poor old Barnsley, downfall of downfalls. Pitch struggling as well. Barnsley, 6 points in 14 games. Oh, God. I mean, to be honest, Pope, it's not much better across the season, is it? That's just shy of 0.5 over a 14-game sample, isn't it? Yeah, not good at all. Get them Barnsley, get that the management some talent left. Really, really haven't gotten it right. Unfortunate. I've said this before. It so smacks of Ipswich in 18-19. Obviously, Ipswich went by choice for the hard reset. Barnsley less so. And, you know, manager, captain, key striker, all gone. But once that confidence goes and the rot sets in, losing becomes a real habit, doesn't it? I feel sorry for the Barnsley fans. Top of the world. Now they're feeling really, really low. It's sad, isn't it, for Barnsley? And the real sad truth is it's last season was the outlier, not this one, isn't it? If you look at Barnsley's history over recent years, they're either up the top and winning up in League One or down the bottom in the Championship. The one that sticks out like a sore thumb is 5th place last season. But there we go. The most Sunday League sequence goal you'll ever see at Championship level. Yes, not good at all. Aspargi appointment looking weirder and weirder. Well, this is where you ask the question, Ollie, isn't it? And I've done this being an Ipswich fan. So what did they gain from getting rid of Hurst? Would we be any further on? You know, and you start to say, when a manager changes and it either goes worse or stays exactly where it is, you do start to wonder what the point was. But, well, there you go. Let's be honest, the season before is them. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Lee. When we look back, and I'm sure a lot of you are as nerdy as me, and you look on, you know, those Wikipedia pages, list of seasons, it's always good. You just have a quick look at all the league positions. The one that pops out will be the 5th place last year, not this one. Barnsley followed Icarus and burnt their wings, didn't they? And they did get so close to the sun last season. Playoff semi-finalists, weren't they? Right. Let's stop lamenting Barnsley. And yeah, we got a much more good news story here, which is QPR. And it was QPR 4, Reading 0. And QPR really, really are looking good, aren't they? This is a viable automatic promotion challenge. We all sat here. The Rangers fans said as well, well, I'm worried. I'll tell you what the Rangers fans said. We're doing good, Ben. We concede a lot of goals. We're quite open, and I'm worried about January. I think we'll finish in the playoffs. It was that sort of thing. All of a sudden, they've actually accelerated through January. Better without Chair and Dieng. Obviously, I'm being facetious saying that. But, yeah, looking really, really good. That is 13 points in 5 games for Rangers. And they've stopped conceding goals as well. I think there's only, I might be right, only 2 conceded in those 5. So all of the preconceptions we had about QPR, well, they weren't preconceptions. They're pretty much facts, weren't they? But all of the predictors for what would happen, it's the opposite. And one predictor as well that I didn't mention is last season, QPR improved, well, quite a big spike from sort of, I don't know, mid-December, which is when Austin arrived, wasn't it? So it's probably a bit later than that in terms of it being a transfer window. But is there form for a Mark Warburton side growing during the season? If they grow, top 2. Top 2 may be a possibility, but look above them. There are 2 parachute teams and 1 directly below them as well. So that's what they're up against, but they're giving it a good old crack. I haven't mentioned Reading. Yeah, Reading are really, really stinking it out, aren't they? 5th defeat in a row on my screen. I don't know if it goes back any further than that. Get your comments in. In goal is Marshall for QPR, Dickey, Dunn, Barbe, Wallace, Adoma, Field, Johansson, Willock, Amos, and Dykes. I think Jordy DeVries went out yesterday, didn't he? I can't remember where to, but yeah, a bit of a surprise, that one. I thought he was all right for Rangers. For Reading, Southwood, Yidam, Rahman, fullbacks, Holmes, Morrison, Drinkwater, Laurent, Renomota, Swift, Puskas, and Zhao. And I remember reading that team out to start the Superstream and thinking, okay, Reading, yeah, Zhao's back in there. Fullbacks are back in there. Swift is starting. 4-0. Not good. Not good at all for them, their Royals. And will never be Royals. Here is Lyndon Dykes heading in the opener from a sumptuous Chris Willock cross. He's been terrific this season, hasn't he? And Dykes stepping up. He's the big guy. He's the physicality. And their heading in this game and scoring from crosses was on point, because here they come again. Lyndon Dykes again. Uncle Albert Adoma crossing this one in. Dykes getting across the near post. And those Reading fans behind the goal are probably like, I thought I saw that goal 5 minutes ago. And Lightning's going to strike again and again. 2 goals in 3 minutes here. Willock slides through Amos. And you think Southwood's in a good position, but Amos goes near post, larrups it by him, hits the bar and goes in. Good finish. Reading fans were tweeting me about this one. Horrible marking, isn't it? Corner from Steph Johansson, Jimmy Dunn. Freedom of Shepherd's Bush to head that in to the back of the net. 4-0 QPR. Woof. Let's have a look at some numbers. Look at the possession. I suppose QPR probably surrendering some possession after going 3-0 up so quickly in the game. Also, Reading 18 shots in this game. However, look at the on-target count, 8-3 in Rangers' favour. And then look at the big chances, 5-2. However, look, there is something there in terms of having 18 shots and creating 2 big chances. Again, I wasn't at the game, and I'm sure Mark Warburton will have had them retreat a little bit at 3-0. And we always see the numbers like this in those instances. But yeah, you can't be conceding 5 big chances or 3 headers in the box to a bloke the size of Lyndon Dykes. So QPR, excellent form, 51 points from 28. They are well in the shake-up there, 1 point behind Bournemouth, 2 behind Blackburn with a game in hand. Reading are lucky that Peterborough are not very good and are nowhere near a point per game, and that Derby had 21 points deducted. Of course, Reading had 6 deducted themselves. However, Reading have now reached 1 point per game, haven't they? So Reading are at best a survival team. By my logic, they're not a relegation team in general terms. And by this season's logic, they're not a relegation team because it's going to be way lower, isn't it, than 1 point per game? Let's be honest about this. Could be around 40, couldn't it? Could even go 5 lower than that because of the points deductions and the posh away form. But we all know Reading need to start winning some games, don't they? Big style. Let's go to some comments. Where shall we land here? Battle of the Hoops, absolutely. Great result for QPR, absolutely. Reading in shocking form at the moment. They could go down. And like I just said, John, the only saving grace for them is not moving a lot below them. And Derby have been deducted 21 points, doesn't it? QPR are flying and Wall have got them in a couple of games. That should be a good one, shouldn't it? Morocco out today. Great point, Noah. Chair is coming back. It's all right. Chair is coming back. Dykes, second, a great header. Jimmy Dunn making it 9 league goals from our central defenders, and he makes the chair point as well. QPR season ticket holder at this game. Bizarrely, Reading weren't that bad. We created some chances. You can't concede 5 big chances, though, Andrew, can you? Yeah, and I agree. Willock, just terrific player, doesn't he? Toby, I do love Dieng, but I hope Marshall. Interesting. That'd be very, very interesting what Mark Warburton's plan is there. Dave, Dyke scoring 2 and being chased by Burnley, is he now? Chair coming back, a couple of good signings. And second, so Dion Sanderson is in now as well. Tom, think Posh and Barnsley are gone, so toss up between Reading and Derby, possibly. Yeah, possibly. Could Reading be at risk of relegation? Would be on 28 without the points deduction. That would imply no, the 1 point per game. But, you know, will the 6 points and will the confidence be sapped out of them? Who knows? Right, let's move on. And yes, speaking of confidence sapped, let's talk about Big Val and a defeat for West Brom at Millwall. And the West Brom supporters are not pleased. Millwall get the win. Millwall 2, West Brom 0. All is not well with West Brom. Millwall back to winning ways after 3 straight defeats and looking to just push back towards that top half indeed. So the story, unfortunately, Millwall fans, is West Brom. 3 defeats in 4. And I've had lots of tweets from West Brom fans, different statistics. They all basically say this is a trend down, that if it continues, we'll see Ismail sacked. And we've said the standard at West Brom is that Darren Moore was 9 points off the playoffs when he got sacked. It was closer to the end of the season than this. Sorry, not 9 points off the playoffs. 9 points off automatic when James Sharn took over. Big Val is now 9 points off automatic. And he does not have a game in hand. Here are your teams in this one. Bielkowski in goal for Mill. Wallace, Cooper, Hutchison, McNamara, Malone, Mitchell, Keefton, Bell, Burke in there now. Is he on loan from Blades, Burke, or is he signed? Someone tell me in the chat. Bennett and Afobe. For Baggies, Button in goal. Still no Johnston. Kipray, Bartley, Clark, Townsend, Furlong, Livermore, Mowat, Grant, Phillips, and up top, Andy Carroll. Not even a story. Hey, not even a story. Andy Carroll in at West Brom. Who'd have thunk it? His second championship club of the season. And here are the goals in this one. Where am I looking on this screen here? Where's the Millwall Stadium? Is that it? There you go. I called it right. Mason Bennett in the 67th minute. Just edged across to him by Afobe. And it's get a touch, hit it as early as you can. And he finds the gap there and squidges it over the line for 1-0. This is actually very good from Benik Afobe. It's a bit poor in the first instance for them to let the ball bounce. I think Clark mistake. But there's a really lovely touch by Afobe to switch direction. I think he nutmegs Clark as well. So I've actually got that down as one of my goals of the round for Afobe, just for those last 2 touches. He just takes him out of the game and then good finish. I mean, look, he's hot favourite to score there, isn't he? And Afobe sticks it in the net for 2-0. West Brom, the normal sort of story around them this season is they make a load of chances, have a load of shots, don't take any of them, but they've got good defence. In this one, nothing like that. Look, 3 shots apiece on target, 3 big chances to 0 in Millwall's favour. So we'll take the narratives about West Brom and say, well, no, they didn't create anything, so they didn't miss anything. And their good defence, which was the fewest conceded in the league prior to this one, still might be, in fact, tied with Bournemouth. Well, that didn't hold out, and Millwall get the 2 goals. God, look at Millwall's goals scored there, 29. You can see where maybe the slight problem is there in terms of balance. But we said this about Rowett for a while, haven't we? Millwall up to 15th. Nice. Lot of traffic ahead, but that's only well and good if you can have a little run yourselves. And West Brom, bad run. And if this run continues, they will not be in the playoffs. And Mr. Ishmael will not keep his job, knowing the West Brom ownership. They have fairly exacting standards there, don't they? Let's have a look in the chat here. Where shall we dive in? There, Oliver. Wallace, Saville, Leonard out. And Bradshaw, great 3 points. Didn't see it coming. No, I think I had West Brom 1-0 to win this one, Oliver. Wrong again. Where else? Could the Baggies manage to be sacked this week? Possibly. The only thing, and a West Brom fan pointed this out to me, is they paid compensation for him, didn't they? So they must have wanted him quite badly to get him from Barnsley. So I don't know. Does he get... remember, West Brom only get 2 years of parachute payments. So that clock is ticking fast. Do they keep him for the whole 2 seasons? I don't know. As we Albion's fans say, he's got to go. There you go. I can't do the Baggies accent. I'm sure you can do it better than me, Matt, naturally. David, long time coming performance. Ollie Burke looks class above, can make a huge difference. Burke on a loan, but if they could take him off as permanently, stop it. That would be grand. Oh, what's it? Lee Johnson's been sacked, has he? Oh, I did not know this. This is broken during the show. Lee Johnson, the Sunderland manager then, if what I'm hearing is correct, has gone. Wow. Yes, I've just literally seen it. They lost 6-0, didn't they, to Bolton yesterday? Wow. Johnson out at Sunderland. Maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the show. There you go. A few comments about that. Any more comments on Millwall and West Brom? Gaz, there's one. Millwall fan here. Rout splits the fans at the moment, but I think we're overachieving. Your opinion? Well, we know Millwall have overachieved since they've been in the Championship to finish 8th twice. 15th is not an overachievement, isn't it? And you know what it's like, Gaz, as soon as those results drop off, you can tolerate pragmatic football when you're winning. As I know from 6 years watching Mick McCarthy, when it drops off, it's not that much fun, is it? Let's move on. And we are going to talk about Middlesbrough 1, Coventry 0. Good bounce back from Middlesbrough. They lost on Monday night at Blackburn. They've bounced back. Chris Wilder, when we look at the teams, he didn't throw in Balogun and Watmore and Pereira like we thought he might do. So he's got a plan. He's sticking to it. And defensively, very, very good Middlesbrough. If someone can give me some Borough defensive numbers there, that'd be lovely. But they're not conceding many goals in the last 5-10 games at all, are they, Borough? And that's got them through here against Coventry, who are very spotty, aren't they? Look, lost one, lost in the last 5. Get your comments in on Borough 1, Coventry 0. I need to press a button so you actually see the correct game there. My bad. Sorry. Lumley in goal for Borough. Why has he got 8.1 on SofaScore? Was he a busy boy? We'll check it out. McNair, Fry and Jykesteel, Taylor and Jones, Tavernier, House and Crooks, Sporer and Connolly for Coventry. Moore, Hyam, McFadzean, Clark, Salter, Bidwell, Eccles, Allen, Sheaf, O'Hare, Shipley and Gyökeres. Of course, Matt Godden is out with a appendicitis or a burst appendix or something like that. Something not very nice. Anyway, we wish him well. Here is the only goal in this one, forced over the line by Andras Sporer. And we mentioned those players, Balogun and Pereira. They come on, both of them, and Balogun gets the assist for this one. Spora, right place to, like I say, I think I'm using the right terms, force it over the goal line to get Borough the win. And I think you might be able to see a little bit why Lumley's been given 8.1 by SofaScore. Although, look at the big chance count. What it sounds like is that Coventry had lots of shots without having any big chances by the sound of it. Lots of possession as well. So Borough, again, banking on their solidity and getting the win here. 63% possession, Cov, 15 shots to 9, 5-3 on target, 8 corners to 6 is a bit closer. But look at that big chance count, 1-0 in Borough's favour. So for you XG bods, if you're a Borough fan and you like your XG and your big chance, you're probably quite happy with that. And this is the key with Borough at the moment. And the worry for the other teams around Middlesbrough is if Balogun, Payero, Watmore, Spora, Connolly, I don't know where they're going to use McGree, start scoring. Dangerous team, very, very dangerous team to those up there. They're up in 6th. Could have got overtaken by Forest today, but didn't. And looking good under Chrissy Wilder with 18 to go. Coventry, they're so punching out. I know we say it every time with Coventry. Brilliant stuff for them to be in 9th, and it's a defeat at in-form Borough this weekend. Let's have a look here. Dan, I have seen your message. I promise I'll reply. That only came through earlier, didn't it? But thank you, Dan. £5 super chat. Check out Lions TV, obviously, for your Millwall needs. Anything on Borough and Cov? Graham, Cov played well, deserved something out of the game. Got to get past that Borough defence at the moment, haven't you? In 2 weeks, Derby played Borough. Yes, that will be intense, won't it? Wilder was a very good choice. Yeah, Steve Gibson did well getting him while he was free, didn't he? Cov are so close to being a very good side. They play some lovely stuff. Need MG back, Matt Godden, because they don't take their chances without him. Callum becoming an occurrence now. Dominating, can't take chances. Borough staying with the best side they've faced. Wilder giving Gyökeres huge praise. Kinder fixtures coming up. Yes. Wilder doing well with Borough. Absolutely. Hope Borough... Stop it, Lee. Balogun looks a real player. I've seen him a few times, Matty, in the Pizza Cup against Ipswich for Arsenal under 23s or 21s, whatever it is. Not sure on Connolly. No, me neither, but could be wrong. Oh, really? Dave says QPR play Borough next. Woof. That should be a good one, shouldn't it? We will move quickly on and we will talk about a game that I watched all of on Friday night. It was Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. So I won't go chapter and verse on this one because we did literally 2 hours on it on Friday night. So if you want 2 hours of me talking about Huddersfield Stoke, watching it blow by blow, you can get it. It was 1-1. Look, some refereeing controversy in the first half, let's just say. I think we all know what happened and we all know what should have happened. So we don't need to labour the point a couple of days later. You know me, I'm more than willing to talk about refereeing stuff if I've watched the game. Otherwise, I'll plead the fifth. So I will address the refereeing stuff, but I haven't got images or whatnot up there. Here are the teams then. Nichols in goal for Huddersfield. Turton, Pearson, Lees, Toffolo, Karoma. He's going to be controversial in this game. O'Brien, Hogg, Thomas, Sinani and Ward. Bonham, Wilmot, Jagielka, Harwood, Bellis and Timon. Baker, Thompson, Campbell, Vrancic, Philogene, Bidas and Fletcher for Stoke. So the story is at 0-0. There's a mistimed tackle. Look, let's not go in hard on Josh Karoma. He gets it wrong. He's late. He's not trying to kill anybody. We know. But it's not very good, is it? He does endanger the player. And if there was VAR, he would have been sent off in the Premier League. I can almost forgive referee Ward slightly in that they move in quickly and he could have just not seen it right. And again, whatever your opinion is, I think it's pretty irrefutable. Okay, there's subjectivity that he would have been red carded if it had been there'd been a VAR feed. Of course, it's then Karoma that gets the opening goal when he really should have been red carded before. And it takes a deflection as well off Wilmot, doesn't it? Spoons up over the keeper's head into the back of the net over Bonham's head. 1-0. Then about 1 minute later, Tyrese Campbell gets taken down, and I'm less forgiving of referee Ward on that one. That should have been a penalty to Stoke, shouldn't it? But in the end, they did get an equaliser, and referee Ward was perfectly fine in the second half, but he did make 2 bad calls in the first half. We all know. Fortunately, it didn't cost Stoke a defeat in that respect. And here's the equalising goal. It actually give the ball away in their own box here. Huddersfield. Philogene Bidas hits the post. Then I forget who it is. I think it's Wilmot has a shot blocked. And then Jacob Brown, really good finish actually. Bear this in mind for your goal and around. Larrups that one into the top corner. 1-1. And given what happened in the first half, I've got no allegiance. It's not Huddersfield's fault. Look, they got a little bit lucky with a couple of calls, didn't they? I was quite happy. All hell would have broken loose in the stream if Stoke had have lost that one. So it ends 1-1, and that's all I will say about that. Fairly even game. Stoke came strong in the second half. 2 big chances to 0, though, in Huddersfield's favour. But again, you have to factor in the little bit of luck they got with a couple of those refereeing calls. That said, Huddersfield still tremendous that they're up in 7th, although they have been overtaken this round by Middlesbrough, who, they don't have it's +6 plays +4, isn't it? So it's all about that Borough defence, putting them above Huddersfield in terms of the goal difference. Stoke are 12th. And I would pose the question, if Stoke finished 12th, how that would reflect on Michael O'Neill, because expectations are high there, and they've moved in the transfer window, haven't they? Baker in, Harwood Bellis in, Jagielka in, Philogene Bidas in. So, yes. Let's look at some comments here. Poor refereeing performance. Karoma a lucky boy. Stokes out of pen. Yeah, I agree with all of that. I wish Town would stop the habit of sitting back on a 1-0 lead. Yeah, agreed on that one. Didn't work against Cov, Swans, and now Stoke. Stoke slowly falling away, Matty, as a couple of others accelerate as well. We need VAR in the Championship. I put it to the chat quite a lot that we just want the right decisions, don't we? And that would have been a big game changer, wouldn't it? Huddersfield going down to 10. Obviously, we want the players protected, don't we? Unfortunately, Harwood Bellis wasn't hurt. He didn't quite plant his leg, did he? And again, I'll reiterate, Karoma, look, he just mistimes it, doesn't he? I think he's going for the ball in good faith, but he does endanger the opponent, of course. According to Stoke, Josh Madger, close to signing on that. So you have back Michael O'Neill this January as well. Bart time looking at that. VAR in the Champion, we would get another 10 points a season. Look, it's all opinion as to whether you would like it or not. That's up to you. But I can't see a sensible argument for not having it if we can do it. Yes, it needs to be improved. And from my vantage point as a neutral talking to lots of fans, the fans aren't going to be happy whether there's VAR or not. Fans are never happy. They're never happy with referees. They always think they should get the 50-50s in their favour. So that's never going to change. So you may as well stick it in anyway. VAR doesn't need to come in. Refs had the chance. Yeah, anything like that, a soft entrance where, the fourth official just says, go and check that, or the referee can go and check. And as long as fans are patient, for God's sake, and we know fans are not patient, and we know they do want, standard fans want is they want every 50-50 to go to their team, and they want the referee to be 100% right. The referee's never going to be 100% right, just using their eyes. I don't think that's possible. It's too difficult. 5 referees with the speed some things go. So there you go. Right. Let's move on. And Nottingham Forest, who had the chance to get up into the playoff positions today, did not take it. It was Cardiff 2, Forest 1 in the Sunday afternoon game. Jordan Hugill announced in at Cardiff. Obviously, they'd done the deal way before the announcement because he was playing and he scored the opening goal. He makes his debut and scores, and a disappointing one for Forest, who, like I said, could have gone into 5th with a win today. and they did not take that chance. Good win for Cardiff, though. Really important win. At the moment, it's so slow down the bottom there that even one win is a bump, isn't it? Literally, with nobody scoring very many points at all down there. There are your teams: Cardiff, Smithies, McGuinness, Morrison, NG, Drama, Doughty, another new one in there, Rules, Wintle, Doyle, Hugill, and Watters. So it doesn't look a lot like a Mick McCarthy Cardiff team or a Neil Harris Cardiff team now. Starting to look like a Steve Morrison team, isn't it? For Forest, Samba, Spence, Cook, McKenna, Lowe, Yates, Colback, Johnson, Garner, Zinkernagel, and Graben. So Forest, nice settled team, but they get caught out fairly early in this one, 6 minutes in. Perry NG sticks this into the channel, and Jordan Hugill is either quicker than I thought, or Scott McKenna is slower than I thought, or maybe a bit of both. And Hugill just accelerates away from him. And then it's a huge chance when you get to there and he just sticks it in the corner past Brice Samba. Here's the second, and it looks like a real tap-in. What's happened prior to this is Joe Rules has smacked a shot off the bar. Samba dives. He doesn't get anywhere near it. Hits the bar, hits him on the back, deflects across then to... who sticks that in? Isaac Davies, who only came on 8 minutes before. And he sticks it into the empty net. 2-0. They did have to survive a late goal. That's poor from a Cardiff point of view, isn't it? Standing jump, I think, from Keenan Davies. And he's just able to guide that into the corner, direct from that corner. But too little, too late. And disappointing in that one for Forest, but really good win for Cardiff, isn't it? Let's have a look at the numbers. And Cardiff fans will be very pleased with one stat in particular. They only conceded one shot on target. However, they did concede two big chances. So Forest have had their shooting boots on. Their finishing's been decent, hasn't it? Graben, Zinkernagel, Johnson, etc. But not today. And in those big moments, you can see Cardiff took the chances. And they did outshoot Forest 10-6 in total shots and 4-1 on target. So well played, Cardiff. Important win for them. And look below them, nobody won. So good day for Cardiff, who are now 6 points above relegation. We've had it oft quoted at us this week that Cardiff, without the points deductions for Reading, would be below Reading and would be below Derby, dropping 2 places. They're a relegation team. They are below the 1 point per game. But the points deductions help, and wins like that help. So well done to Steve Morrison. And Forest fans will be like, chance gone. However, look, you can see last time they lost, I think there might have even been 2 on the bounce they lost, 3 back-to-back wins. So if they can bounce back in that same way, they'll be fine. But they're in there. I've said this about Forest for the longest time. It's so hard when you have such a bad start, those 7 games. You've basically got to be very, very good. So, I mean, it was 7 games, wasn't it? So that would leave another 39 games. 39 times 2 is 78. So literally from that moment Houghton left, 2 points per game, automatic promotion form will take you to 78. A little slip off that, and then, you know, unless you're right on it for the entire rest of the season from a Forest point of view, hard to get into the playoffs. They've got there, haven't they? But yes, still got to keep it going. Liam, legend, £5 on the super chat. Thank you ever so much. A league win at last. I'd forgotten what that felt like. I'll never take a peaceful mid-table finish for granted again if we, Cardiff, stay up. Thank you, Liam, so much for the super chat. Matt, all 24 teams complain about refs' decisions. Something I can... Look, I speak to fans of every team, and not many people do. And I do say the same, actually, Matt, that if I paid attention to every set of fans that complained about a team, it is literally every team. Every set of fans complains about referees. So there is a point where you do what I've done and said, look, if I've watched the game, I'll give my opinion. But otherwise, everyone's complaining. I either have to talk about everything or nothing. Else it's not fair. So I talk about nothing in the end. Will, pleased for Hugill. Fantastic player for North End. A goal will do in the world of good. Yeah. West Brom fans will probably be bit miffed, immediately scoring after 6 minutes. HM watched a bit of this. Forest weren't attacking the box. Brennan Johnson put a lovely cross in, needed more. Ollie only saw the first half. Forest looked poor. Probably just a bad day at the office. They've been brilliant under Steve Cooper. Standing refereeing is dreadful in the champ. I know it essentially levels out, but well, ex-pros, are they going to, jump from the dream job to the nightmare job? And well, the only thing that will make them do that is money, money, money. All I would say first is, this is my normal take on referees, is that I've worked in education, and when a child messes up, you've got two choices. You can admonish them or you can try and help them. Sometimes admonishing them works. Sometimes trying to help them is more useful. I think the first port of call is always try and help. And I do think the tech would be a help. Yes, there are mistakes, I know, but I think it could be assisted in other directions as well. Right, let's move on. Who are we going to next then, guys? Sheffield United, who are in 11th now, after their win at Peterborough. Get your comments in on Peterborough 0, Sheffield United 2. And it's going to be a big take a bow, Mr. Billy Sharp. So a round of applause emoji if you want for good old Billy Sharp in the chat. Fantastic achievement. 122, if I got my numbers right, championship goals. That's 6 entire seasons of 20-goal seasons across his championship career. So well played, Billy Sharp. He finally gets the record. Obviously, it's associated to the name championship, so it goes back to 2004. But look, let's not be pedantic about things like that. It's a brilliant achievement, and well done to the fat lad from Sheffield. Peterborough rely on their home form. They lose at home. The losing streak is real for Peterborough, and it is all playing into this low tide down the bottom. There are not many points going on in the bottom 5. Here are your teams for Posh: Bender, Kent, Thompson, Knight, Tomlinson, Mumba, Grant, Fuchs, Poku, Clark, Harrison, Marriott. Dembele and his agent might have a busy day tomorrow, is what we're hearing. For the Blades, Fotheringham, Basham, Egan, Robinson, Norrington, Davis, Bogle, Norwood, Hurahan, Ndiaye, Brewster, and the record breaker, Billy Sharp. And it's a very, very Billy Sharp goal, isn't it? Look, on the turn, first time, gap in the corner, falling over as he hits it as well. But the guy just knows where the goal is. It's a dying breed, isn't it? The player that doesn't do a lot else other than score, basically. I know he's got assists this season. Had a bit of a change under Jukanovic, didn't he, when he was playing one up top or one with support in a 4-2-3-1. But Sharp, movement, finishing. Head it in, volley it in, get in behind. He's just been a master over the years, and congratulations to Billy Sharp. And congratulations to Jack Robinson on an elite bit of shahousery here, because about a millisecond after Callum Morton has put this in his own net, number 19 there, Robinson gives him a big slap on the back and runs off. It's 2-0 in the 81st minute. OG for the Posh and 3 points for the Blades. Let's have a look at the numbers. Get your comments in, by the way. And yeah, God, look, so heavily Blades there. 57 on the possession, 20 shots to 3, 20, 2-0. 5-2 on target, 9 corners to 0, 2 big chances to 1. So look, Posh did have that one big chance, but I'm sure Paul Heckingbottom will take those numbers in any game he has this season, because you'll win most of them in that game state, won't you? Blades, look, I know it's not the correct thing to do, so I'm not going to do it, but they do have games in hand. Let's not... Sheffield United haven't earned the right for us to add on 3 points per game for the game in hand. I guess it's about 1.5, isn't it? I think it's exactly 1.5. So, yeah, you can add 4.5 points on, but even 4.5 points takes them right to the edges of the playoffs. So, basically, if Sheffield United perform their form over the season in their games in hand, they're going to be close. If they perform their form under Paul Heckingbottom in their games in hand, they'll probably get in to the playoffs, because I suspect that's closer to 2 per game, isn't it? So all looking all right for Sheffield United, not looking good for the posh down there. They can't win away. They can't be losing at home as well. There you go. I assume that's not for me and for Billy Sharp. Needed a world-class save from League One Wes. League One and world class in the same sentence there. Death taxes and Billy Sharp scoring goals. What a player, hey? Great finish. If all 11 players did what they were paid for, then every team would be brilliant every week. Sharp does what he's paid for. It reminds me a lot of Mark Hughes was class. Wasn't he? Sheff, Posh just stood off Norwood. Big mistake. Norwood run the show. Striker situation could be worrying if Brewster's hamstring is bad. Justin adds Gibbs White, Davies, Jefferson. Oh, is Jefferson coming back from Burton? Is he? Interesting. So maybe a more hecking bottom looking squad there. How many have we got to go, guys? I'm rambling. Look, we're nearly coming up the hour and I'm only up to game number 9. I will be in trouble off everybody, won't I? So let's try and speed through the rest of these. We're going to Preston, and it was Preston 2, Bristol City 2. Preston getting back in it with a 95th minute equaliser, and those poor Bristol City fans have had to put up with more stoppage time equalisers than probably any club in the 92. Someone fact check me on that, but it feels like it, doesn't it? Not good at all. Here are your teams. Iverson for Preston, Vandenberg, Bauer, Hughes, Cunningham, Potts, Whiteman, Ledson, Brown, Reece, double for him. He's having a good season. How many will he get? Can he get close to 20? Archer, who the Villa fans are all very keen on, aren't they? For Bristol City, still Bentley out and O'Leary in goal. Callas, closer, debut. Pring, O'Dowda, De Silva, Masengo, who was apparently brilliant in this game and very good assist for the first goal for Bristol. No, the second goal for Bristol, excuse me. Scott, the inform Vyman across the season, and the inform Semenyo and Martin at the moment. They've got some informed strikers. Shame they can't keep the ball out at the other end. Bristol City. Here is the opener. Good finish by Chris Martin. Slid in by Vyman, who adds an assist onto his output for the season. And Martin, he's always been good with that type of finish, hasn't he? Drills it low into the corner, left-footed. And that is 1-0 to Bristol City in this one. Reece gets in there for the equaliser on 52. I believe, I can't remember the goal, to be honest. I'm just seeing that it's still there on the picture. Some kind of parry, maybe some kind of deflection. I don't know. I've seen a lot of goals this weekend, and I can't particularly remember that one. I do remember this one. This is a great goal. Masengo does superbly well. He does a lovely drive, a lovely step over, pokes it through. Difficult angle for Semenyo, but sometimes on those angles, if you hit it early, hard, and accurately, you just smash it through the keeper, and that's what Semenyo does. He's in good form, Semenyo. Excellent run from him. Another good finish in the 95th minute. Down the right-hand side goes Brad Potts, sticks the cross in. Reece finds the space. There's plenty of red shirts back. They can't stop him. He volleys it into the corner. I think that's 12 for the season for Emil Reece. And Preston ride again under Ryan Lowe. It's tight, isn't it? 58-42, 12 shots to 10, 4-3 on target, one big chance apiece. It's a draw, everybody. Let's all shake hands, even though it was a 95th minute equaliser. I know that changes the perception greatly, especially if you're a Bristol City fan. On this one, City, look at that defensive record, 51 goals conceded. I can see Reading and Peterborough on 55. I can't see anybody else. I can see Cardiff on 48. But, yeah, it's a real trend now how bad Bristol City are at the back and how many goals they're conceding. And this all in the light of Vyman, excellent. Martin, good little moment. And Semenyo, young player in good form. Preston have done well under Ryan Lowe. But all I would say is there's not many wins there in the column there to show for it, even though they have good spirit. They're hard to beat. They've had a couple of good comebacks. However, the Preston fans will want wins, and Ryan Lowe will want 3-pointers as well. 7th injury time goal this season. Shocking. If the game's finished on 90 minutes, we'd be 43 points. Ifs, buts, and maybes. Not good for poor old Bristol City, is it? Too many goals and stoppage time goals. And yeah, I mean, even if you take away the 7 injury time goals, they've still conceded, how many? Was it 51, 44 then? Is it? So it's still not good, is it? What a shock we conceded in stoppage time, 7th game. Played really well against Luton and Preston. Only 1 point from those 2 games. Not good. Bristol City looked as good as anyone we've seen at Deepdale. Masengo was superb. They missed a sitter. Oh, yes, Vyman had a big chance and missed it, didn't he? Death taxes, Bristol City conceding stoppage time and Billy Sharp scoring, obviously, as well. Preston poor all game. Masengo is unbelievable, ran the show. We were lucky to get a point. Archer looks promising. Vyman, miss of the season. Heartbreak to concede so late. City played some nice football, can see a definite improvement. Build around those youngsters, of course. Right, let's move on. Sorry, I'm deep into this now. Where am I? I think I've only got 2 to go, haven't I? Swansea and Hull is our next one, and it was Hull 2, Swansea 0. 3rd win in a row for Hull. New owner bounce. New manager bounce. Whatever you want to call it. Hull take Swansea down and win this one 2-0. And they're just on a roll. They did 4 straight wins earlier in the season, Hull. Odd team. Most of their points have come in about 10 games. And then there's been long runs of not scoring points outside of it. But well played to Hull. 3 straight wins. And Swansea, well, we thought it was a good little run, 5 points in 3, and that clean sheet and draw in the watch long up at QPR. But back to losing ways at the moment. Right, Hull team, Baxter, Bernard, McLaughlin, Greaves, Fleming, who's going to have an involvement in this one, Longman, Smallwood, Doherty, Honeyman, Eves, and Lewis Potter. Keep your eye on him tomorrow on deadline day. There'll probably be a bid coming from somewhere. Hamer, Cabango, Norton, Manning, Latibodia, Christie, Fulton, Grimes, no downs. He got red carded, didn't he? Wolf, Smith, and Pirro. But none of those forwards are getting on the goal-scoring trail this game. And new one on me, Brandon Fleming, the left wing-back. I believe he's... is he one of their own? I don't know. Someone will smarten me up in the chat. 22 years old. Nice assist. Gets down that left-hand side. You can see him there with his arm up. Tom Eaves gets across his man, sticks it in on the near post. Here is Keane Lewis Potter. And again, that one comes in from George Honeyman from the other side. Swansea caught out, quick transition, quick crosses. And we know Swansea do leave themselves. I mean, normally down the sides, they leave themselves a bit exposed with how high their wing-backs play up. But Hull were there to exploit it. And they do get win number 3 in a row. And look at that, bang, bang, 2 in 17 minutes at the start of the game. Then look at the rest of the numbers. 66% possession Swans, 15 shots to 5, 5-2 on target, 2 corners to 1, 2 big chances apiece. So that looks a bit more like Swans from earlier in the season, doesn't it? When all the numbers were in their favour, but they weren't winning. Maybe the Patterson issue, is that quite an Pirro down as well? We did say about Swansea when we did the piece on the strikers that Patterson and Pirro were performing over and above, weren't they? They were doing really well in terms of their XG and shot count and output based on that. Maybe with their output dropping off, that was the difference. I don't know. You tell me. Let's just go back to the table real quick. They're tied there on 32 points. So on the current points total, Hull are as good as Swansea. Swansea have 2 games in hand, of course. But what Hull have also done with that 3-game winning run is put a 6-point gap between them and the bottom 5. And they have a 12-point gap between themselves and the relegation zone. Well done, Hull. Much needed win. James, one of 3 local talents from their brilliant stuff from Hull. We love to see the players come through the academy. One of our own, yes. I think that's it on that game. We have got one more game to go, and it was a breathless one at Pride Park this afternoon. It was Derby 2, Birmingham 2. It was a brilliant spectacle, I have to say. I really, really enjoyed the drama. And I won't go chapter and verse again because I did watch it. But let's quickly bash through the action. Allsop in goal for Derby. 32,000, by the way, in Pride Park. Wow. Byrne, Stearman, Davies, Forsyth, Thompson, Bird, Joshviak, Lawrence, Knight, Plange. For Birmingham, Etheridge, Collin, Mengi, Roberts, Pedersen, Gardner, Woods, Bakuna, Hernandez, Taylor, Hogan. New look Birmingham with Taylor. Hernandez has been there a couple of games, but Bakuna starting as well. Mengi also in on loan. They are building a new look team to end the season, hopefully. Here's the opening goal. It's really good from Lyle Taylor. It's good from Onel Hernandez as well. Runs in behind, gets the better of Davies, and just really controlled, quality striking play there by Taylor. You know exactly from his body shape where he's putting that. Hits it early, hits it accurately. 1-0 Birmingham after 2 minutes. Here is Scott Hogan glancing one in from a lovely cross from Ryan Woods to make it 2-0. And then Scott Hogan missed a big chance to make it 3-0. We've covered a couple of derby games where they've come back from 2-0 down. We covered the one against Reading as well. They're going to do it again here. Now, I will comment on refereeing in this again, and it's more VAR in, or the need for VAR, because there was no way in the world any human pair of eyes was going to be able to judge this handball. I needed 2 replays and super slow-mo. However, Tom Lawrence hits the shot. It hits Mengi's hand, and it's not... So I'll be transparent about this. I've asked referee Hackett about this on the Seen Them Given podcast, so I'll get a proper answer from someone who actually knows. My understanding is this is a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, but I've checked IFAB's website. There is actually no mention of unnatural or natural or deliberate or not deliberate in terms of this. I would have expected in the IFAB wording something to the extent of, if a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity is a handball, deliberate or not deliberate or natural or unnatural kind of goes out the window. But so we'll get some clarification on that. To me, if you stop the ball going in the goal with your hand, it's a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. I did agree with a couple of the comments that maybe in those situations, maybe the punishment's the penalty and it's not a red card if it's not deemed deliberate. We have that for goalkeepers in the box now for the triple jeopardy. But anyway, what I'm saying is Derby had a decision go against them there because Birmingham are going to have one go against them at the end of the game. I'm just setting it up for that. I think we all know that narrative. Great finish by Planche to make it 2-1. And yes, we all know this goal should have been disallowed. Forget the high foot. It probably is dangerous play. It's a great finish by Bielik. Stearman is offside when he heads the ball back across. So talk about evening itself out. It did kind of even itself out in that game, didn't it? There was one that went for Derby and one that went for Birmingham. I think the more key moment in this game was the 2 big chances missed by Scott Hogan and the one at 2-0 that really would have put it out of sight. And again, I don't necessarily blame the ref on this. I feel if they had VAR, a little bit of help. I was watching on a TV screen here. I needed 2 replays and I needed to go super slow. That's how long it took me to see. So I would have had no chance if I'd have been stood on the pitch 30 yards behind. Okay, it wouldn't have been 30 yards behind, I think, because it was a corner. And the other one as well, last minute, ball lobbed into the box. Got to rely on the linesman. VAR would have checked that, wouldn't it, for the offside, and Stearman was offside. So we probably wouldn't have even had to discuss the possible dangerous play by Bielik. But it is what it is, and it ended 2-2. And it was a great spectacle and a great fight back and great spirit by Derby, even though Birmingham fans will be very annoyed to have given up a 2-0 lead, especially when Hogan missed that chance at 2-0. Goodness me. So Birmingham, well, not losing many now, but to be fair, they've played Barnsley and Peterborough and Derby in there, who are all the bottom 3, although Derby aren't really they're only a bottom 3 side in terms of the 21 points deduction, aren't they? They would have 36 points to be above Birmingham otherwise. Derby, well, they've only got 1 win in 4. And far be it for me to criticise a team in the relegation zone for having 1 win in 4. But if you want to fight a 21 points deduction, it really needs to move quickly, doesn't it? And they need to get another winner on the board. But great spectacle today. Great fight back. And it ended 2-2. Let's have a look here. Where are we? Ref missed the handball, redeemed himself with the equaliser where Stearman was offside. 100% pen. Hope Bielik is okay. Yeah, me too. That'd be so unlucky if he got injured again. We just sat back. Agree with that. I mean, Derby deserves some credit, James, because they did go for it, didn't they? They really did. But Dan, wonder if Derby's fans are enjoying this season, different type of season. I think they are, actually. They certainly come together, siege mentality. Nat, Derby are doing what I hope Wednesday would have done last season. Just remember, though, with Wednesday, Nat, when they got close, they panicked, didn't they? Derby haven't got close yet. We've seen teams before make up the deduction and then panic, don't they? Yeah, I wouldn't like to comment on any chance in the game that I haven't heard. Right, there you go. That is our review. I need your help really quickly on two things, and they are team of the round and goal of the round. Let's get into that right now, in fact. Right, team of the round, get your votes in. As ever, please leave your bias at the door. The question is not which football team do you support, but who do you think is the team of the round? I will just read out the winners this week, and you can vote for who the heck you like. But please, please, please try and answer the question I'm asking you rather than try and make it, how can I justify voting for the team I support, which sadly a lot of people do. I know you love your teams, but let's try and get a good read on this. In fact, I polled this. Let me tell you what the Twitter poll says. I polled this on Twitter. Where is it? One sec. I'll give you the percentages. Who came out on top? QPR got 54% of 312 votes, and Millwall got 39. Yeah, so QPR were the team of the week on Twitter. So let me give you your winners. Will it be Bournemouth, QPR, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United? Who else won? Millwall, Hull. It was Hull last week, remember? But you can vote for who you like. Surely there's another team. I think there's 7 teams. I've missed someone out there. Sorry, whichever team I've missed out. Who won that I didn't mention? Let me do that again. Bournemouth, QPR, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, Millwall, and Hull. I think I've read them all out, haven't I? Anyway, who's your team of the round? Let's hear it. I will not read out ones that didn't win. So I'm only looking for winners here. QPR, Hull. Oh, Cardiff was the one I didn't read out. Sorry, Joe, you're right. Cardiff, Hull, Cardiff, Hull, Cardiff, QPR. I think it's a tie between Hull and Cardiff. So I'm going to be a big house now because Hull won it last week. I'm going to give it to Cardiff. I'm going to give the casting vote there. I hope you don't mind, everybody. Right, let's have a look at goal. Goal of the round. Once again, please don't use this as an opportunity to just vote for a goal by your team. Let me give you some options. Maybe Jacob Brown's nice finish for Stoke City. Not necessarily either of the whole goals. Middlesbrough goal, no. I liked Afobe's goal for Millwall where he turned inside. I thought that was a lovely finish. 2 good goals in the Bristol City game. The Semenyo goal and the second Reece goal, the volley, either of them. Any of the QPR goals? Lots of crosses and free headers, weren't they? You tell me. Billy Sharp's for the story, even though aesthetically there were others more pleasing. Some good goals in the Derby-Birmingham game. Maybe the Lyle Taylor one. I don't know. The Plange one was good as well. Wasn't it? Get your thoughts in. Goal of the round. What are we saying in here? Right, here we go. Bielik. This is going to be controversial. Bielik. There we go. It's Christian Bielik. Stearman was offside and it was probably dangerous play, but it was a great story. Also, we should give Billy Sharp a shout out for breaking the championship goal scoring record. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for your input on the show today. Really enjoyed it. We will be back tomorrow for something transfer window related. I haven't planned out exactly yet. What I'll do, I'll poll it on Twitter and YouTube, and you can tell me what it is you want to see next week. Thank you for all your support over the weekend. We have done a stream on Friday night, a watch along, a super stream on Saturday, a watch along today, a review today, a preview on Thursday, 5 shows, and they've all been really well watched. There's been great engagement. I've really, really enjoyed it. The channel's going well at the moment. Had a bit of a dip off with the numbers in mid-December, but we've worked hard and it's all coming back now. Maybe it's just a Christmas lull or whatever. I'll keep telling myself that. But thank you so much, everybody. With that being said, just do me one more favor. Hit the like button before you go. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. Nat, legend, see you soon. Dave, Dan, I'll message you later. Sorry, we can get the kid down for sleep as well. Cheers, Joe, HM, legend, Stephen, legend, David, legend. And we'll catch you tomorrow. Keep in touch and we'll figure out what we're going to do. Vis-a-vis, sorry, I sound like David Brent, the transfer window. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.